Welcome, and thank you for joining me today. Thank you also for opening up to new possibilities in your journey, stretching your mind, stretching your ideas of what might be possible. To start out today, I'd like to have you just imagine for a moment that you've just been told that you have less than a year to live. And I want you to think about the first thing that pops into your mind. You might note it down. Sadly, for many people, this experience or something similar to it is often the first time that they've really spent any time considering what really matters to them, what their life's journey is, what their purpose is. And it's so sad because that means that there are a lot of lost opportunities in day-to-day life for a deeper, more meaningful experience. So I want to share a story about when I was doing some consulting work in a medical center. I spent a lot of time in the ICU, in the ER, and the palliative care team, inpatient, outpatient, and really was there to help support the physician and the nursing staff to be able to create a healthier environment, even when patients were going through very difficult things. So I I was often asked to help facilitate when a patient was faced with some unexpected, really challenging news. And there was this one time that I was asked to go in and speak to a young mother. She had just had a baby. She also had a little one at home and a husband. It was a very close, loving family. And the physicians had just told her that although her baby was going to be okay, baby was going to live, that she was not, that her infection, she had an infection, not to get into details, but it was not responding to the medication they were giving her. And they had tried several different medicines. And I sat down with her as close as I could, given all the medical equipment, and looked into her eyes that were really looking for me to give her some good news, which I couldn't do. And I repeated what the physician had told her and asked her how she felt and how I could support her at that moment. And she looked at me with such incredible fear in her eyes, and she was quite weak at the time, but she had tears in her eyes. And I remember not only the feeling that I was sensing from her, I could feel it, but I remember her words, and she said, "I can't die. I don't even know who I am yet." And I listened to her and I said, "It's not too late." I told her that that's something that we could work on, and thus began her journey to find her purpose, even as her life was actively ending. Her suffering lessened as she zeroed in on what really mattered and how she wanted to live her life. She really wanted to be the best mother possible. So for her, given her situation, how that aligned with her actions was she started making videotapes for her children around special events that would happen in the future. And in doing that, she started to feel better. Um, I'm really passionate about us all finding new ways of living, of working, of being, to alleviate unnecessary suffering. And my purpose in life is to elevate the energy of the world by inspiring and empowering people to align with who they are and to align with what really matters. Because it's interesting, as we begin to get more clear about what matters to us, what our purpose is, you can use whatever words you want, we're better able to serve in empowering others to do the same. So it's not just a selfish act. As you're doing this, you're modeling it to those around you. And what happens is it leads to this exponential positive effects for us as collective units. So this might be in our workplaces, might be in our communities. And I like to think also it's in our world, right? As we're each individually doing this and showing up as our best, we can help to make the world a better place. So take a moment right now and reflect on your life journey so far. How clear would you say you are on what your purpose is? And it's okay. You, you can be in either end of the spectrum or anywhere in between. You might never have thought about it. You might have thought about it a lot, but just kind of check in where you are, okay? Because right now we're living in a time where this is becoming, I would say, even more important than it has. The number one regret of the dying is that I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not a life expected of me. Think about that for a minute. How often are we doing things because other people expect it of us, right? The world is undergoing incredible change. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty. Old systems are breaking down. There's an increased amount of burnout, of overwhelm, of fear, of poor health, and a lot of emotional consequences from that. And although many of us can point to conversations about what the problems are, and pointing fingers at maybe who or what is wrong, there's very little that is being done to change the issues. And this is where you come in, and this is where your purpose comes in. How do you and those around you stay calm, clear, focused, and resilient in times like this, and be able to take the necessary actions to create the change you want to see? I think we need to be able to connect with our purpose in order to do that, right? If we don't know, if that woman in the hospital hadn't zeroed in, she wouldn't have been able to create those videotapes for her children. So we need to change how we show up as leaders, as lovers, as parents, as human beings in whatever environment we're in, right? Begin to recognize our humanity, value it, and connect not only with ourselves, but with others at deeper levels. So we often can't change external events, right? And we often can't change, well, we can't change external events, certain external events. We can't change the behaviors of those around us, but we can 100% expand our own power, and we can empower those around us to do the same. Not make them change, but we can empower them. We can model it, we can empower them if they want it. So with confidence and with courage, as we align with what really matters now, we can support others in doing the same. So how do we do this? Okay, the simple answer is connect with your purpose, right? Okay, maybe you know what that means, maybe you don't. It sounds simple, but it's really not. And it's a lifelong journey. So however long your life is, you can be working on this for a long time. You need to pause, take the time to pause, take the time to reflect on what matters. Take time for yourself to really think about it. I personally like to go out into nature, go hiking, camping, running, trail, whatever it is, and connect. But together, well, individually and then collectively, as we connect with our purpose, what we can do is we start to align our actions and our words to what really matters to us. This saves a whole lot of energy, saves a whole lot of time, and honestly, it helps to make anything possible when we do this. So when you're thinking about, because we're all busy, why bother? Why do this? I kind of know what my purpose is, right? I want you to just think back to the young woman I talked about. When I sat with her after talking and reflecting and then making decisions about what she did want to do with the time she had, she started experiencing, and granted, you got to remember what kind of scenario she was faced with. It's pretty drastic, right? But she started experiencing a decrease in fear, greater joy, greater clarity. Her voice became stronger, even as her body weakened. She had the courage to say, and she had the courage to do the things that mattered most to her. So when you connect to, and when you are living aligned with what really matters to you, what you do is you develop a foundation. It's your rock, it's your foundation that you can use when you're making decisions. It also provides a way for you to expand your courage, because as you start to get more clear about what matters, connect that with your actions and your words, sometimes it requires us to be courageous in what we do or what we say. So when you know what matters most to you, this is the energy that fuels your life. So think about what might be possible for you, what might be possible for your family, your community, for your team, if you spend some time thinking about what really matters to you. What might you experience? Some of the things that I've heard as clients have taken this path, well, I'd say clients and friends, and also what I've experienced myself, are feelings or comments such as this, like, I'm showing up as my best self, even in these really challenging times, right? Or perhaps I'm finding that I'm more efficient and I'm more productive, even when there's chaos around me. Another comment that I hear sometimes is I'm better able to empower others, better able to create an inclusive and co-creative environment. Because if that's something that really matters to you and you get clear and you're aligning your actions and your words, you're better able to bring that to being. And honestly, that's what helps bring out the best in everyone around you. So I have this new friend and he asked me this question. I thought it was great. I loved it as we were discussing my passion for this topic. And the question was, what is the collateral beauty of discovering your purpose? And I love this because, I just mentioned several different things that you could expect as you go down this journey of kind of discovering and playing around with what your purpose is, what really matters to you. But it made me think of a lot of things that I've heard from especially clients that were kind of these unexpected benefits of their work with us. And some of them they found them more meaning at work, more true and meaningful connections with colleagues, with friends, and with loved ones. And I love this one too. I've heard this a number of times, kind of a kinder, more gentle relationship with one's own self, as well as in relationships with others. And of course, some of the pretty frequent things that I hear is more laughter, more levity in life, even in difficult times, greater joy, and an overall sense of well-being. And this is really, for me, like, it's the heart of it, right? I want people to feel good, because when you feel good, you do good. So no matter where you are on the spectrum of knowing your purpose or living aligned with your purpose, no matter where you are, just take a few moments to reflect. Taking a few moments to reflect on it will serve you in your journey, especially now in the environment we're in. It's really important right now. And it really is a foundation that you can build on. So the world needs you to take this time. Your team and your family need you to take this time. The woman I talked about a few minutes ago, and she began crying about not having time to figure out who she was, it brought back memories for me, and it brought tears to my eyes, because my mom had died suddenly many years prior to the time I was sitting there talking with her. And I had experienced the same crisis of being, where I thought, wow, I could be gone tomorrow. That's why I asked you the question at the beginning of this talk. I could be gone tomorrow. And I realized that any one of us could be gone the next day, right? So what did that mean? This is when I committed to showing up as my best, whatever that looks like in any particular day, but committed to living every day as best I could, and to showing up so that I might help others to do the same, because that's part of my purpose, right? Is inspiring and motivating others to live their best lives, to show up as their best. So in closing, you have permission to pause. You have permission to take time to reflect. You have permission to invest in your well-being and what really matters to you. What would it look like to know your purpose so intimately that when you are faced with a decision, even a very challenging decision or an action, that you can empower yourself with courage and commitment to living that purpose in every moment. I want you to just think about that. And can you imagine how better equipped you'd be to support and empower others? Start with you and start with taking a full minute to consider all the things you love or would love in your life, and write down what turns you on the most. Okay, it's a really simple exercise. You can do it. You can do it today. You can do it when we get off of this talk. Start developing a sentence about you and what really resonates with your heart, and write it out, because just thinking it in your head, sometimes it doesn't make it as real. So take the time, write that out, play with it. You can massage it and change it as time goes by. Take the time, reflect, and then commit to bringing more of you and what matters to you into your life. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. I'm here. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to support you on this journey to greater empowerment, greater well-being, and really a better world. That's my purpose. Thank you.